Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Crawford. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today I'll be unboxing these Cyan watercolors from Paul Rubens. I just got them and I'm really excited about the colors. And so I will say I've ordered these off of Amazon, and when I ordered them, I think I thought for the price I was getting 5 milliliter tubes, but these are 15 milliliter tubes. And so the packaging itself was a lot larger than I expected, but you'll see it's got some beautiful design work here on the packaging. This nice round box. It's a very sturdy box, so very great on the packaging. And then there's this insert here. Of course, most of this is in Chinese. I don't personally read Chinese, but I think these are the 6 colors that are here. And you'll see also on the back that they've got them listed there as well. So very, very nice packaging. And now here are the colors. So again, great job on the inside of the package as well. And these are, again, very large tubes. And so I think that this was a great buy for the money. So these are a really moody set of colors. Here's what they're supposed to look like. You can see we have country green, shaded yellow, Chinese ink blue, dense cyan, dusky purple, and misty carmine. And so I thought that these were a really interesting palette to work with for doing some more moody type work. So now let's go ahead and put these into a palette and test them out. So I've got this adorable little palette here. It's just a porcelain palette with a little lid. My husband got me this for Christmas, so I'm not exactly where it came from. My best guess would be Amazon. But this comes in really handy, and I thought I don't really have an extra space in my palette, so I'll just put some in here and then let it dry. So first up is this one, and I think this is the shaded yellow. Put a little there, and I'll let these dry in here and just kind of use them from this palette. I really like little porcelain palettes. This one here, I'm gonna guess is Misty Carbine. Carmine. Not quite sure how to pronounce it. There we go. Then the next one here looks to be country green. Very dark. Now these are supposed to, they look to be very granulating watercolors, which is a characteristic that I really love in certain paints, and it's really great for different effects. This would be the dense, dusky purple, I think. But these are also really well known, as I was reading about them, for layering. And so, and depending on if you use hot press, cold press, rough, textured paper, it should change the way that they layer and different effects you can have. So that all sounds really interesting. I think this is the Chinese ink blue. And then our last one, or maybe that could have been maybe dense cyan. And this one, the Chinese blue. We will find out here just momentarily. We'll swatch these. All right. Now this is the exciting part. I've got my little palette here, and then I've got just this cute little watercolor pad. I love this size pad, and it's, you know, not like really, really great paper, but this is perfect for doing something like this, or I like to have a small piece of watercolor paper next to me while I paint, and then I can test out colors on paper before I commit to them in my painting. So since these are still wet, we're going to be careful to grab just a small amount of the paint. I think that's pretty. Very earthy green. When I swatch paints, I also like to dip my brush in water and then kind of drag the paint out and see how it blends and also what it looks like as a lighter wash. Here's the first one. That would be the shaded yellow. Does feel a little bit more of a green, but now as I see it kind of starting to spread out on the paper, definitely has that yellow hue to it. So the next one we have here, the Misty Carbine, maybe. Let's find out. Again, grabbing more water with my brush and then spreading it out. I don't know if that's the Carmine. We'll swatch them all and then compare it to the printout. Of course, I printed that on my personal printer here, and so it might not match exactly. Here's the green, country green. Some more water. That's a nice green. That would be really great for some landscapes, especially like in the background when you want things to be a little bit cooler. That'd be really great for your background green. Here is the Dusky Purple. The initial color of this kind of reminds me a little bit of Moon Glow as it goes on, but I'm feeling this isn't going to separate in the same pigments as something like a Moon Glow. It's definitely a purple. Ooh, look at that. Be great for like moody night sky or storm above the sea. Oh, 2 more to go. This looks to be the dense cyan. That's a very pretty color. You can see the swatches so well. It's the glare, but 1 more to go. And this looks to be Chinese ink blue. Ooh, it's a bit of it like a turquoisey kind of color. So again, these are supposed to layer really well. So I think I'm just gonna kind of go back and do a second coat on these and see how that's working for us. And this one does seem to be separating a little bit to like a yellow and like a darker pigment. So see, it's definitely yellow based. See how that layers. Next one, the Carmine. Should get some interesting effects, hopefully. This is my first set of Paul Rubens paints. I really do like Paul Rubens paper, especially like their watercolor blocks. I just happen to have one sitting right next to me here. But this is their hot pressed, and it's like, I enjoy painting on this, whereas I don't really enjoy painting on most hot press papers, but even for hot press, it's pretty well textured. And I know they have a cold press as well as like a rag, a much like rougher paper. So I really enjoyed their paper, and I've heard others talk about their paints, and I've got quite a few different paints. But when I saw this set of colors and for the price, which was in the US, on Amazon, about $40, I believe. Ooh, that dark, look at how dark that color is, that purple. You can really get a lot of variation with just this one pigment. Kind of drop some water in there. Again, kind of seeing how it layers. That one definitely flows. That pigment itself flows really well. Didn't quite get that same effect with the Carmine. The other one seemed to like blend really well, but definitely getting a moody, kind of interesting effect with that purple. Let's try the blue. Very similar there to the purple. And it could have been also how I applied the water there and I went really dark with the pigment. Maybe we'll do one more layer on the first two. I see why they talk about layering for these, because this first wash was really light and I just put that same color on, and as a thicker wash it is much darker. So maybe try to lighten it up a little bit just so we can get that, see some of that layering effect. I mean, it got very dark, that pigment. All right, very, very moody. All right, I'm gonna try just a little bit more pigment on these down here, see if we can get that same kind of effect going. And see, even these, they're layering this really light yellow wash when it layered. Oh, it's so dark. That's really, comes in very handy. Like you can, I think these would be great for like monochrome painting, where you're using one color, but you're trying to use, you know, basically let value do the work instead of color. So these could be really interesting for that, since they do layer together so dark. I don't know if it really separated the same way, the yellow, as we got with the top three colors. See if we can do it with this. A little more of a moody blend out of the red. Let's try this green one more time. Seems to be the lightest. Oh, and look, I just need a little bit more pigment. So the lightest of the colors, but as long as you use enough pigment, all these colors can be very dark. And there you go. All in all, I have to say I am excited to add these colors to my palette. They layered really well, as stated. Like, we got some really light washes on the first go, and then with the second, like, much heavier, lots more paint. Since I am using straight out of the tube, it was easy to do. You know, you can tell we got some really, really dark colors as well. So I think very versatile. I'll be really interested to try these out in some of my upcoming paintings. So if you haven't tried anything from Paul Rubens yet, I would definitely recommend this set if it looks interesting to you. And then also, you know, definitely try out their paper. I would probably compare this. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, I tend to use arches when I'm doing a lot of painting, but this is a go-to that I would use in place of that. So knowing that it stands up really well and it's good quality paper, it's also a little less expensive than Arches paper. So if you're looking for something that's a little more budget friendly, check out their paper. And yeah, let me know what you think after you give these a try. Thanks. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and stick around for more.